Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World. The situation of COVID-19 in Australia appears in steady decline, and the government of Australia is in the process of considering the easing of restriction. And in the Thai PBS World tonight, Kun Thepchai Yong and me as Thai ambassador to Australia on the process of the latest situation of easing restriction in Australia, and what's the plan in helping Thai in Australia to return to Thailand.
I understand that Australia has also been under lockdown, right? So what kind of lockdown has it been like in Australia so far?
Well, the situation, of course, when it started, I think worldwide we saw rapid rates of infection. Similarly, I think in Australia, the federal government, together with the states and territories, have responded through a series of measures, effective measures, particularly in containing the spread of COVID-19. Of course, they had a series of measures of lockdowns, particularly at the through mechanisms of through an interagency coordination mechanism, which is called the Australian Health Protection Committee, and this is comprising health experts together with the cabinet ministers, relevant high-level ranking officers in dealing with this particular situation. They were also able to pass certain decrees, laws, to enable the law enforcement aspect of dealing with the situation. And of course, in containing the virus, of course, since we do not have the vaccines as yet, we still have to contain the spread through various measures, travel restrictions being one of the priorities for Australia, particularly interstate travel, traveling between territories, limiting movement as much as possible, going down as to, in terms of, particularly in ACT, the Australian Capital Territory, limiting to work from home methods, decreasing mobility, whether to go outside of your homes, of your accommodation places, only for essential services, meaning to purchase food, to purchase medicine, to see the doctor. In terms of international travel, we have been seeing a complete sort of ban against foreign travel. And this is particularly since around the 20th of March, there has been ban against incoming foreign travelers. Those who can travel to Australia would be Australian nationals, citizens, and of course, foreign travelers can go outside of Australia, but for those inbound will be restricted to very minimum categories of those who can come in.
Ambassador, and what about Thai who live in Australia? How many of them have told you that they like to return to home country like Thailand, and how have you managed to help them?
In Thailand and Australia, as I mentioned about the bans on air travel, so there is limited or very few commercial flights traveling between Australia and Thailand. The direct flights, particularly Thai Airways or Qantas, which have been flying from different cities in Australia to Thailand, a significant more than 10 flights per week were cancelled or reduced. The last Thai Airways flight, and the Qantas flight, which was seen to be the last flight in March, was flown on the 26th and 27th of March. At that time, there was still a backlog of travelers, especially Thais who had booked on various flights, wanting to return home. But because of various measures also on our part for incoming travelers, where they have to find documentation, fit-to-fly documents, or certificate documents from the embassies to certify their traveling to Thailand. This also created some problems for remaining Thais in Australia. what the embassy has started to do together with a team Thailand based in Canberra and the Royal Thai Consulate in Sydney, we had worked together in making recommendations to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and in discussion with Thai Airways to work with the COVID Situation Center in Bangkok to authorize a special commercial chartered flight for Thais who wish to return to Thailand. As I mentioned, the commercial flights that were cancelled before, those tickets were not refundable, not refundable to be used on this special flight. All the flights were cancelled. So this special flight had to be arranged based on the guidance, the procedures issued by the CAAT on the Thai side, as well as bearing in mind the Australian restrictions of travelers between states and territories as well. So we also worked with the Australian Embassy in Bangkok because we know that if we organize a chartered flight, the cost would be very high, and this I think would not be affordable for Thais or any passengers. So in discussions with the Australian Embassy in Bangkok, we were able to have also send back the Australians from Thailand to Bangkok in the amount of around almost 200. And we were also able to repatriate 207 Thais on the 26th of April from Sydney. And that was our successful first repatriation flight. At the moment, we're looking at the second opportunity to organize a second flight within this month, and we're working on those details. And it will be likely departing and arriving in Melbourne as the next destination.
Ambassador, how do Thais in general in Australia cope with life under lockdown? And have there been any reports of Thais infections among Thai people in Australia?
The Thais, of course, have been respecting the guidelines that have been issued by local authorities. We have encouraged them, disseminated information to them of what to do in order to take care of themselves, hygienic procedures, and of course, looking care after themselves. There are about 100,000 Thais in Australia, mostly populated in New South Wales, where you see over 40,000 Thais living there. And then the subsequent states are in Victoria and in Queensland, and of course in the 20,000-30,000 range. There's also a significant number of Thai students studying here, around 20,000 or so, and we have also been reaching out to them through the Education Counselor's Office in making sure that the students are okay. And the Thais communities, they're here based on various types of visas. Some are tourists, some are on temporary workers on short stay visas, some are students, some are on work holiday visas. So there's this wide range of people. Some have been affected, and we have been reaching out to them through giving out care packages to all Thais all over Australia as a minimum and basic needs requirement. Other than that, we've been keeping in touch with them through the various associations, the honorary consul generals and the consuls general based in the various cities to make sure that they are well and at least safe and healthy. No Thais have been reported to us as being infected, but we continue to give advice and keep a close watch through monitoring and communication means.
And you can stay updated on COVID-19 on Thai PBS World Tonight, our online program on Monday to Friday at 7 o'clock.
In times of crisis,
It's been a nightmare.
what you need is accurate,
COVID-19.
up-to-date, and in-depth information.
This virus will be with us for a long time.
And in this most challenging time, when the whole world is being ravaged by the most frightening pandemic, there is no easier way to stay informed than to stay home.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight.
And stay with us. Thai PBS World. We bring Thailand to the world.
So please stay tuned with us at Thai PBS World tonight at 7 p.m. Monday to Friday.